We need to have a conversation about Sam Rinzel. Samuel Jessica Rinzel. I don't think his middle name's Jessica. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, we need to talk about Sam Rinzel. If you had told me at the end of last season that we would be concerned about Sam Rinzel, I probably wouldn't believe you, just because in his 9 games last season, he looked like a seasoned veteran in the NHL. I mean, this kid was drafted, he's 21. He was drafted 25th overall in 2022, a high draft pick, one of three first round picks that year from Kyle Davidson. He came up at the tail end of last year, as you probably know. He played 9 games. He had 0 goals, 5 assists for 5 points in the 9 games. He was a +1, and he was playing at a 45-point pace. And not only was the fact that he was playing at a 45-point pace impressive, but just the way he controlled the game. Like he was, his specialty, his skill set isn't the fact that he's a shutdown defensive defenseman. He's not like an Alex Vlasic. He's an offensive defenseman. He can skate like anybody. Um, and so the fact that he was even good defensively and he was making smart plays and he was keeping the puck out of the net, um, the fact that he was doing that and controlling play in the offense. He was driving plays in the offensive zone from the blue line. He was absolutely killer. He fit in right on the first line power play immediately. I mean, he was so good. Um, so, I think we all thought kind of, going into this season that Sam Rinzel was going to be on the top pair with Alex Vlasic all year, all 82, assuming his health, and there was going to be no complaints. It's probably a little unfair to assume that he had only played 9 games, but we had reason to believe that it wasn't going to be like it's gone this year. And so far this year in 20 games, he's got 1 goal, 5 assists for 6 points. He's a +2. So he's only playing at a 25-point pace, which is not, good enough for Sam Rinzel, considering, like I said, he's an offensively gifted defenseman. He's not a shutdown defenseman. Um, and so I've just been thinking, like, what is going on? What's the solution here? And obviously, it seems like Blashill has tried two things. He's tried switching up who he's playing with. So he's taken him off of playing with Alex Vlasic most of the time. He's kind of made Rinzel the seventh defenseman now instead of Crevier. Um, and he's scratched him for 1 game. He scratched him, a few games ago, and he's looked better since coming back from being scratched. I'll give him that. But he's just a shell of what he was last year. I mean, you still see the glimpses of the skating, like the other game, he had that little breakaway on the power play. You still see him make a move at the line, looking like a flash of Cale Makar to create space for himself and create a lane and get a shot to the net. You still see that, but it's not as much. He's also such a deceptive player that kind of ties into his skating, the way he's able to maneuver with the puck. We haven't seen any of that this year, and he's just not trusting his offensive instincts. When I said he was playing like a seasoned veteran at the tail end of last year, it's because he was just following his instincts and he was making great plays that you can tell weren't plays that were drawn up on the board. They were just off the top of his head as he was going. And he hasn't been doing that this year. He almost looks like he's a bit afraid to do that, um, which is really disappointing. And like I said, he already has, he's already not really a defensive defenseman. So him and his own end has been brutal this year. I mean, I've noticed just turnover after turnover after turnover. Like this guy can't break the puck out to save his life. It seems, um, and it's just really hard to see. There's no physicality to his game. We kind of knew that last year. Oh, if you pay attention to the prospects a lot, you kind of knew that before he even made the team last year. But yeah, there's absolutely no physicality to his game, which is fine. That's not why you have Sam Rinzel on your team. You have him on the team for his offensive upside and hoping that he's just a net neutral, ideally, at least in the defensive zone. And that was what was such a surprise last year, was that he was more than that in the defensive zone. Um, and another thing I've noticed with this guy, uh, he can't hit the net to save his life. I don't know how many shot attempts this guy probably has. I gotta check how many shot attempts per game this guy has, because it's a lot. He tries to shoot the puck a lot. He can't hit the puck to save his life, and it's so frustrating. I know I'm not the only one. I see people on Hawks Twitter losing it over this guy not being able to hit the net. Um, I'm all over the place right now. I said a while ago there's two things the Hawks have already tried, and then I only named one thing. The other thing was cutting his ice time. His time on ice average in October was 5 seconds under 20 minutes a game. It was 19:55 in October. That was his average ice time. So he had plenty of games that he was hitting 25 minutes, which is too much for Sam Rinzel, too much for a guy who only played 9 games last year and is only 21 years old. Um, but yeah, he was playing that much ice time, and so they've dialed it back. So now here in November, his average ice time has dropped to 15:13. We're pretty much through November here. I think there's 2 games left in the month, but his average ice time has dropped down to 15:13, and it keeps declining. I mean, there's 2 games, 2 of his last 4 games, he's played under 12 and a half minutes. One of them was under 12 minutes. So, I mean, they're really cutting this guy's ice time, and what else can they really do? They've cut his ice time. They've put him in the 7th defenseman slot. They've taken him off the first power play because that was not working. Do you just ride it out? Like, I don't know what the path is for Sam Rinzel here. He never played in the AHL. Do you send him down to the AHL? You know? And then, my first thought is, okay, you send him down to the AHL. You know who's lighting it up in the AHL is Kevin Korchinski. But they play different sides, so it's not really an even swap. It's not like I mean, Korchinski could come take his place because, like I said, Rinzel's the 7th defenseman right now. So maybe that's the answer. Maybe Kevin Korchinski gets his shot, and maybe Sam Rinzel gets to go be the number 1 guy down in Rockford and find his game, and I honestly think that's the solution, and I hear a lot of people, CHGO, when they talk about him, Jay in particular is very against Sam Rinzel going back to the AHL. And I don't disagree with Jay Zawaski very much. I really don't. I agree with him on most things. But I'm starting to think the AHL for just a stint might be the move for Sam Rinzel. If it's, and what do I know? I'm not a coach in the NHL, but I'm just some schmuck who watches hockey all the time. But I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. I think he could really benefit from some time in the AHL. Because what else can they do? What else can they do in the NHL? They've cut his ice time. They've made him the 7th D. They've taken him off power play 1. They can't put him with someone. They can't give him the Levshinov treatment now. And by Levshinov treatment, I mean play him with a safety net in Kaiser. Because he's been playing with Vlasic, where he started the year and where he was playing most of the beginning of the year was with Alex Vlasic and the most reliable defenseman on the team. So I don't know about you guys, but I think the AHL might be the move because I also want to see Kevin Korchinski up here. He's playing really well. I want to give him a little shot in the NHL. See what happens. We have too many defensemen, and I want to get them all going. Mastro, EDM still's got to come up here. Nolan Allen still has to come up here. So you got guys that need to come up to the NHL, and I think some time in the AHL would benefit Sam Rinzel. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me over on Twitter. Lots of good conversation over there, and I'll see you in the next one.